Hey guys, now today's nice little video, if you haven't seen, is gonna be over. I don't have particles yet for the end of the muzzle flash, but for most part, we shoot. We haven't done the damage part, but I've done damage in the meantime. We can do reloading. I really need to put the mouse cursor on there. And most of the reason why that's doing that is because of destruction and things. But we shoot, reload. We've got our nice little zooming with a little bit of noise. See how he moves around and everything. He zooms out. And like I said before, if we look at the structure for everything, I'm using the same structure that I told you guys that I would be using. Here's our main object with all of our stuff on it. Our mover object. Okay, no mystery there. Our sway object, because, you know, I do things in layers. And then I still have my animational part right here, which has smooth return and everything on a 0.2 seconds. Must be faster than fire time, but it all works the way it's. Boom, boom. I actually kind of like that sound, actually. And we also have reloading. Now, I haven't done the visual stuff yet, like, you know, how much ammo you have, things of that nature, because that deals with the UI, and I think that should be like an entirely different video for that one, because, well, a lot of things have been entirely dedicated to one specific thing. It's kind of a trend, I think. But as everything goes, we've got all our variables here, like so. We've got our weapon handler, which, you know, you can set your aim position. I moved the kick logic over to the handler because it's just right to have the kick transform stuff all here and everything, because, well, it kind of needs to be. I haven't done the dry fire clip on the audio and stuff. It's just because, well, if you know how to do the fire, you could do the reload or the dry fire. It's not exactly hard. I mean, I pretty much gave you guys the code to do that if you wanted to. You just had to write in, hey, audio source, play this clip, and that's it. So we have some strings here, you know, idle, fire, things. This uses the old animation legacy system, because that's what I originally got this model with when I bought it, just for tutorial purposes and things. I actually don't use this in my personal project or anything. And they took it off the store, so it's not available anymore, which is kind of weird. But there are several of them that's animated that you could probably buy right off the store without any problem. So we've got our in-gun, clip size, reload bool, and all that. We got our handler. Now, the handler thing is, most of these variables don't have to be exposed. They're mostly for editor purposes. I moved the kick transform, the kick amounts, and the rotation stuff here in the handler, and I made a function to pull that in. We'll go over that. And most of the gun stuff is pretty much the same. There's no new variables here. except this one right here, ammo case, and these idles. But these are just simple strings, so I don't think you guys would have a problem, figuring that out. By now, if you've seen a lot of my other videos, you've seen enough. You should be able to add these in without any problem whatsoever. Now, the anim is the animation component. Later on, we might use the animator component, but right now, this is the one that I'm using. It's not hard to transfer over if you know how Unity's API works. You just have to fiddle with the animator component variables, and they're like tree stuff and things. But actually putting it into where it needs to go is relatively easy. So let's look at this weapon components. Okay, let's flop over to our code thing, and it doesn't want to show up like a bus. Really hate that. Now, when it comes to weapons and stuff, this is an inherited class now, so I sealed it so no one can inherit from this. We'll just have to rewrite it entirely from scratch if we do. No new variables here until we get down to here. This equipment thing, don't worry about it because it is still in progress. Still working on this. So if you don't have it, don't worry. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Gun timer, we've already went through that. Audio source, we've already went through that. And animation, anim, and some strings. Now, there's no difference in writing these strings out going this way or moving it down like this. Okay? There's no difference. Alright? It's just a shorthand. Alright? Don't worry about it. I just wrote this. Anytime you have a bunch of strings, like just a bunch of strings available like this, you can just write a name, in a bunch of things. It's like an overload. Alright, just write string. I could have put this in an array, but then I have to hard code an integer in there and stuff, and it just wouldn't make as much sense when probably reading it, because a lot of times when you're writing, you should always make it legible. Legible means good. Okay? Our handler, nothing's changed here. Action timer, nothing's changed. Bool, weapon clear. I added reloading equals false in here. Even though we got the timer will not stop the weapon from reloading, which is unfortunate. I think I originally had reloading in here in the first run of this, and I took it out for some reason. Don't know why, This is useless code that you don't need to worry about. We got, actually, now that I think about it, yes, I do have something that's actually, where is it? Oh, I guess I don't. Oh, it must be someplace. Wait, where is that? Update, weapon clear, start, pause. Fire next? Yes, it is. There we go. I need to cut this out and go into clip size. Yep, that'll work. Okay. New variable. Let's see, where would make more sense to have this? Right below the handler, probably. Yeah, there we go. Now, nothing's changed really in the start. We've got this, which we explained. Just pretty much returns a, is it clear or not? Running, nothing's changed, so we don't have to go over that. Timer, okay, we've got that. Fire, okay, but we have this anim.crossfade. Crossfading is really good in the legacy system because what it does is it tries to interpolate all the transforms from the model, because ultimately what you do when you animate is manipulate those transforms. Okay, so every child object, you know, moves around like it should because the mesh follows the transforms, right? So if you change the rotation on one of the fingers, it moves. That's how that works. What's beauty about this is it will try to blend between two animations, blending one out and blending the other in. Like, let's say you wave at somebody and then you want to like close your fist and go, I hate you, right? Well, that's blending in between two different things, right? I mean, that's how I would interpolate it. And what crossfade does is it does that exact thing. Now, the thing that you don't want to do is go anim.play. Okay? Or play Q. No, you don't want to do any of that. Okay? Play. And then do the string of the idle. Slap it in. You don't want to do this, because what play does is it'll just play it immediately right then and there. No blending, no nothing. So every single frame, it will start the animation and it will never finish the animation. It'll look really, really bad. And then you're like, well, then we could use a timer class for that, or just have it do it every 60 frames or something. No, don't do that. Do crossfade. Crossfade, even though it's being called, this isn't being called every frame. Well, look, if anim dot is playing equals false, then we go crossfade into idle, which is intentionally the same pretty much thing, but we can pretty much call this every single frame, I guess, because this is a bullshit. Okay, when I shoot, I'm still in the idle thing, and the reason for that is because the model that I have, the shoot, is ridiculous on the kickback and everything else. Okay, they animated the gun with a huge amount of kickback, which is just ridiculous. There's no sense in that much kickback for a gun that has no kickback in reality. I know everybody's like, oh, it's a game, it would look cool. But, and honestly, what it had, it was just rather annoying. If you wanted a lot of kickback, more than what's in the kit that I showed you and everything, all you gotta do is change a few variables, okay? Which makes it a lot easier to change that. If you wanted less kickback, you don't have to go into the model and redo the whole animation, okay? Because that's just annoying, right? I mean, who wants to go in the animation, go, hey, I need a new fire animation. Hey, I need a new fire animation. Oh, your last one was great. It was awesome, but it sucked for in-game. Or it clips into the camera too much. You need to cut that stuff in half, you know? And there's no really way of doing it inside the editor, so you're stuck telling your animator guy to go, hey, do a different one. Which just sucks, right? So now we're in auto state. If we're not reloading, which this is required, okay, or this will be calling it like crazy, all right? Well, if you didn't have this check right here, when it gets to this cycle, which gets called every single frame when we're not shooting, right, or running, or a lot of other conditions, but mostly this gets called every frame, all right? If we're reloading and we didn't have this check right here, and we just had this, then during the reload, it'll try to blend out the reload animation, look awful, and how could I put this? It'll just blend out the you'll never get the reload animation to work unless you have it. All right, it just needs to be there. I mean, it's so you know what? Let me show you what it does. Okay, let's show you what it does, and then that will give you guys the idea of what it actually will do if you do not have that check. Because don't take my word for it. You'll see what happens. Make this a little bigger. Alright. And we'll start this up. Okie dokie. We've got our open and we pull out this gun. Alright. Alright, so like I said, that'll be fine. That's just way too loud for me. Alright. And then watch what happens when I try to reload. It'll go bloop. Oh, it still works. Or did I not save? Because I tried it before and it wouldn't let me. We've got that. Huh. Guess that check's not useful. Okay. Whatever. I'm going to keep it though. I'm not going to lie. I had it there for a reason. I'm sure that reason is valid. But I guess it goes up and... Oh! It's because this right here, yeah, that's what it was. It was because I had that is playing. If nothing's playing, then it crossfades into idle. Okay, yep. So this actually isn't going to be valid. That's right. Alright. Now this check is... Yeah, that makes more sense now. This check right here asks the enemy, hey, are you playing anything? And if it returns true, then, you know, it never executes the crossfade. But if it returns false, it'll go straight into the idle. Yep. That makes more sense, now that I think about it. It's kind of early in the morning, so I'm kind of getting into there. Zoom, reloading. I added this reload bool check right here because when I'm zooming, if I'm reloading, I could clip into the camera or it looks really close. And you notice how when I was reloading, it zoomed out? Well, the zoom didn't, you know, go out, but my gun went off to the side of the screen where it's supposed to go and reloads and then lerps it back. This check right here is what that's for, okay? And my handler does the aim control stuff, sway aim, and sway update. This, if you're looking for the sway calls, they are in the weapon sway video on the channel. Okay, now for reloading, we've got all these little checks in here, which might be another function. Actually, it's going to be another function because I don't like checks like that. Because anytime you have these long colluded checks like this, it needs to be a bool check of its own. So let's just go off book of what I was going to talk about and think, not a void, we need a bool. Watch, leave me alone. And we're going to call this get next reload. Okay, and then return false just to get the compiler to stop complaining. Now we're going to take all this stuff. Come on, don't do that. Screen. I want all this stuff. Fine. I'm going to cut this in. Okay, and then I'm going to put it down here. If this stuff, then if reloading equals false, then we'll say return false. Else return true. Right? That looks like a good one. So anytime that it returns false from, if reloading equals true, false, the timer is false, or ammo does not equal 0, it returns false. If any of these conditions, I believe, are that, it returns true. So this should work just fine, and we'll test it in a second, and we'll go get next reload equals false, then we're good to go. So let's just test this out here, because I did not, I didn't swap it over. Well, that just is a bummer. Oh. Well, that's okay. You didn't miss much. Okay. That's kind of a bummer. Alright, so let's get my thing out here. Boom, boom, boom. We can boom, boom, boom. Alright, and it works just as intended. Good, good, good. Alright, so let's get into our nice little... All I did was make this get next reload equals false. So our button, because what it was it had this big long function in here. And weapon clear and timer equals... Wait, I'm already doing that timer when I'm doing that, right? Gun timer is done. I should be doing... I should be doing this check in my fire thing. Yeah. Let's do that in the clear. And that was for a true statement, right? Actually, that doesn't... No, that shouldn't be there. Because that's checking the gun timer to make sure that it's there. Ah, that's a really long statement. I don't like it. I don't like it! So, get next reload is just a simple bool check. If we're not reloading, the gun reload timer equals false. And case ammo is, not 0. We return false. Else true. Okay. In the reload, we just call reload. And this is a gun timer update. We've already talked about it in another video. So we have this. This fixed update, we'll be talking about that as well. Actually, let's just talk about it right now. Looks like a good time. It's just a private void fixed update. If fire next is greater than 0, we call the ray mask and stuff. We've already talked about the ray, but we haven't talked about this right here. Fire next is just a simple integer that goes up and down. That's it. We subtract, but when we go to shoot, we plus it. So it'll be above 0, so it'll call ray mask. Okay? It'll call the ray mask, which fires a raycast and does that stuff. Alright? So the fire function will plus it. The in-gun ammo will be minus. The sound stuff will be fired. And the handler will do fire, move. And this is a simple add-on to our interface. Okay? Which goes to our weapon handler. Which you pretty much already know what that will do. It will throw kickback. That's all it does, is throw kickback. Which we've already did a kickback tutorial. If you look in the channel, and it should be like 3 or 4 videos behind this one, it'll say weapon kickback. This is where we call it and you'll just put it in the weapon handler, and there you go. Or just ignore this and put it into the weapon script itself. Doesn't really matter where you put it, just as long as you know how to do a kickback on this side. Okay? So if our ammo is less than everything, we call empty. Alright? Empty is just an empty constructor. It doesn't do anything right now. Okay? Which it could actually... Oh, it plays the dry fire clip. Which I didn't think I had anything in there. Kind of strange. But okay. Okay, I'm going to shorten this up so it looks a little bit. Get a little zoomy here. Okay, so here's the call for the reload. We do the reload timer. We say reloading equals true. We start crossfading, and we give it the key, anim.crossfade. Okay. And we start a coroutine. When you do a coroutine, you got to give a string for the function call. So whatever you call this, they have to match. Okay? If they don't match, it'll throw an exception or error in the console, and you'll find out that it'll really suck. Okay? So in the IEnumerator, which is the coroutine, while anim is playing the reload equals true, it will yield return null. So it'll keep cycling and keep checking this every single frame until this returns false. Okay? Which we pretty much lock down the weapon itself to do nothing until reload is done. Alright? So to keep yield, and stop, it'll be like, oh, come on, are you done reloading, for God's sakes? And once it gets to the false thing, like we're not reloading, we're not playing the animation anymore, then it says load ammo and weapon, the reload equals false. Now load weapon is a void. Alright? And what this does is it loads ammunition. Okay? That's all it does. So ammo case is all of our ammo that's in our gun right now. Oh, no. All the ammunition that we actually have. This will change later on, but for now, this will work. Alright, so ammo case, we add all the ammunition that's currently in the gun. Okay, so if we got 8 bullets and we want to reload, we don't have to do some crazy math to get back to our maximum clip size, like maybe 30, right? We just add all the ammunition that we have inside of our gun in there. And we go ammo in case, if it's greater or equal to clip size, then we do in gun equals clip size. Ammo case minus clip size. Okay? What clip size is just basically how big your clips are, you know? When I reload, I get 30 bullets, right? Well, that's how this works. Alright? But. Alright? This always executes first before anything. Alright? It has to execute before anything else. We do have an else statement in here. So if the ammo case is not greater or equal to the clip size, then we've got less ammo than we've got maximum, you know. Hey, we've only got like 20 bullets left, but our clip size is 30, right? So we need a case for that. So in gun equals ammo case. So we just say, hey, everything that we have, just shove it in the in gun ammo. Alright? Because it's less than the clip size. Alright? So we don't care about these other conditions or anything like that. Alright? It's above us or what. So whatever's in the ammo case, we go and clear it completely out because we've already put it inside of our gun. Alright? Now you might be thinking, this doesn't look right. There's no math in here or anything else. Well, to be honest with you, it's actually quite easy to do this. Alright? Everything that's in our gun always goes into our case first. Okay? So if I have one bullet, it goes, hey, it's got one bullet. So when I get down to here, we just throw it back in the ammunition and clear out everything in our ammo case. Like our total count of how many bullets we got. So even though we set this to 0, it just keeps getting passed between in-gun and that. Okay? That's all it does. That's why it's very important that this call, this must be added first before everything. Alright? I don't know any other easy way of saying that. Nope. Okay, yep. And ray mask, we've already went over this. Nothing's changed in it, so there's that. Oh, I've got a bullet holder thing, which isn't important whatsoever. I mean, all it was I put it into a class and I made this public so that I can return something. But it's not important. It's just more of a cosmetic thing. And everything else you don't really need right now. Yeah. So that's it, guys. That is everything in the weapon script that I have so far. So sorry for it being about 40 some minutes. I know I try to keep it under like 25 or 30, but you know, there's a lot in there to explain. And you know, I apologize if it was lengthy, but thanks guys for watching. Like, hit subscribe. If you need the other videos, they will be in the playlist, which will be in the description. So thanks a lot and peace out, guys. This is War over and out. And don't forget to give the old thumbs up.